Welcome, guys. Tonight we are talking about foods to avoid if you are going through perimenopause and menopause. So I am re-videoing this because I had trouble staying on live tonight. It is raining where I live, and we have our Wi-Fi gets spotty. We live on 5 acres, so I don't know what happened. Anytime it rains, I go in and out. So re-videoing everything that I just talked about live because I know a lot of you like to jump on here after the fact. So jump right into it. If you want to, like I mentioned in the live, if you want nutrition coaching, I am taking on new clients for my new format. It launched Wednesday, and it closes this coming Wednesday because we're starting April 1st. I have to make sure that all of my clients are lined out before we officially start. So it's a new format. If I've nutrition coached you before and you want to come back, the F2 series would be great for you to do. And the F1 has to be approved by me because it is for those going through actually perimenopause, menopause, and then also if they want any help with peptides for weight loss. So it's a little bit more in depth. But anyone who wants to just jump in on nutrition coaching, the F2 series would be great for you. And like I said, I will be happy to send you the direct link, or you could head to my website. So if you're going through menopause or perimenopause, so I am 51. And I think I'm going through a little bit, I just had my blood work done, so I'm going through a little bit of hormonal changes right now. So I went through probably around 42, 43-ish, somewhere in between there. I cannot remember exactly. I had my son at 38. I felt like it kind of threw me into early menopause, and then I had a hysterectomy around 42, 43. Got everything all lined out, and now I feel like I'm kind of definitely not anything that happened to me before, but I do feel like I'm going through a little bit of the change. So foods that you need to avoid when you're going through perimenopause, that can start as early as 35. Isn't that crazy? 35, usually around the 40 mark for sure. 40 to, I have clients that are around the 55 mark that are just now going through it. So it can be, a good 15 year, sometimes maybe 20 years, just because of everything that's in our food and how things are processed. But you really want to avoid spicy foods, because what happens is we're already sweating as it is, and those spicy foods make us sweat, and then we get headaches because we're getting dehydrated, and then it just causes our hormone imbalances. And so that's what happens is our hormones are so unbalanced. Anyone going through perimenopause, menopause know that we can cry at the drop of the hat or anything bothers us. So anytime you're having those spicy foods that are causing you sweaty, the Mexican food, my husband loves to eat Mexican food and eats the hottest salsa, and that he can just sit there and sweat. That, to me, watching him, looks miserable. And so I live in Arkansas, huge area for Mexican food. And when I nutrition coach my clients, I'm like, you really have to avoid, especially during this change, you really have to avoid spicy foods. I know it's hard, but it's one of those things that if you want to, all women are going to go through it, but if you want to go through it as mildly as possible, you definitely have to really control your food. Everything's controlled through your food. I always say, even if people go and have weight loss surgery or use the weight loss shot or whatever you're doing, or peptides or anything, it still boils down to your food. You can have things to help you, but it still boils down to your food. And everyone is going to go through perimenopause, menopause, but you still have to control your food. Another food, processed foods, I feel like that's a no-brainer. Processed foods, or anything that's sealed, has the extra sodium, which causes water retention. We're already water retention as it is. Our hands are swelling and things like that. So you definitely want to avoid. If you like deli turkey, you have to stand in line and watch them cut it instead of going into, in the freezer section where it's already in the, with a sealed over it, the film over it. So you don't want that because that's extra sodium. Chinese food. Luckily, I don't care for Chinese food, so that wasn't something, but a lot of my clients love Chinese food. The MSG in it, it's going to cause you extra water retention. So then you're going to swell, and it's miserable when you're going through perimenopause and menopause because your hormones are already so imbalanced, and then when your hands are swelled. So you definitely want to avoid Chinese food as much as possible. I always say, you have to live a lifestyle, and if you're going to go out to eat during this time, don't be doing Mexican food and Chinese food every time you go out. Definitely choose one or the other, and no more than once a week. You really have to be so mindful. Your nutrition really has to be on point. You really have to avoid the sodas, as much as possible. I tell my clients, if you can only have one a day, pair it with a food. Also caffeine. you know, you just have to. That caffeine, we're already not sleeping as it is, and then you're adding in all that extra caffeine, so then you're really not going to sleep, and then you're sweating in the night. Believe me, I do not wish those days back. And I'm thankful, even though I'm in another decade again and kind of going through a little bit of changes, it's still nothing to what it was during all that perimenopause, menopause time. Fried food, that's a no-brainer. We should avoid it anyway, but it's just causing all that sodium and water retention. You really need to, in a perfect world, in a perfect day, if you could eat all of your foods from home that you prepare yourself. It almost is like a punishment of, you know, you have to eat at home. You can't go out. I have a daughter in her early 20s, and when she lived in Hawaii, I would visit her, and I would get up, you know, 2 or 3 hours before she got up, and she goes, "Mom, what do you do? Like, you're so fit and healthy, but it takes you that much longer." And then I wake up and I'm ready in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. We still are, even though I am great shape and I am healthy and I'm not going through perimenopause, it still takes us a little bit slower time. That's why, you know, we're not partying at Wild. Like, well, I wasn't ever a partier, but anyways, you know, in college years and things like that, because things as we get older, even if we are healthy, we cannot do it as we're younger. So we got to watch the fast foods, the Chinese food with all the MSG, the processed foods, the spicy foods, you know, avoiding the salsa or the bell peppers or things like that. You just really have to be mindful of that, or the hot cheese dip and stuff. And soups. Now, I know we're in springtime, but soups are really, really not good for you, because anything that's hot for you during this time really needs to be minimized. But if you do make your soups, make it with bone broth, because bone broth is so healthy. It's gut health, and that is something that is great just to add to your daily regimen while you're going through. But it is hard to drink it. I don't drink it cold, but it is hard when you're going through menopause to have it hot, because you're already hot as it is. But if you do have soups, when we get back to the fall and winter months, if you remember to make sure and cook them with bone broth. Now let's go. Oh, and the reason that I mentioned about spicy foods, about what happens is when you're already going through menopause and you have the spicy foods that make you sweat, then you're getting dehydrated. And if you're not drinking enough water, you really have to make sure and drink your water. Then that's going to cause even more hormone imbalance. Now, something that you can add to your foods is Ceylon cinnamon instead of, by the way, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Anyways, you want to, this will can help regulate your hormones over regular cinnamon. So you can get this if you're local to my area, Squash Blossom. You can get it at Whole Foods, Fresh Market, Thrive Market online, Amazon online. So this is great to switch out your regular cinnamon to Ceylon cinnamon. Now, I made a post on this yesterday. So a lot of times what happens as well is we get low in our magnesium, sodium, and potassium. And you could add one of these to your water each day. Sometimes I have my clients, a nutrition coach during this time, do 2, because what happens is you're sweating out and you're depleting. And so then when you're getting low in magnesium, sodium, potassium, then you're just making those hormones even more imbalanced. So really, really, you really have to take this time for yourself. You really, really do. There is no, because everyone is going to go through it. Some of it are going to go through harder than others because of their lifestyle and the foods that they're eating and things like that. So really do stay on top of your water intake, your sodium, potassium, and magnesium and stuff. Try to really eat whole foods. Prioritize your protein and fats. This time, you're gaining weight as it is because you're during the hormone shift and your body's changing shape. Stay away from the whole foods, the grains, the white breads. You really just have to, and try to get all of your carbs. You cannot not do any carbs, but get them from fruits and from veggies. So really be very mindful for that. Make sure that you're intaking enough fiber, because you have to be going to the bathroom. So I think that covers everything. Again, I apologize for anyone that tried to watch this live and then it kept cutting off. So I just thought I'm just going to re-video it, pop it back up here on Facebook and Instagram, because I know a lot of you like to watch this after I take it live. And we have one more week on how to treat yourself. I think next week is why you shouldn't do HIIT exercises during perimenopause, menopause. And so I'm just touching on all of that this month. I haven't decided what I'm going to be touching on for April. So if y'all have any ideas, please let me know. And again, if you would like to be nutrition coached by me, get you whipped back into shape, or just kind of revamp you, that's what coaches do, is to just, get you back rolling again. Sometimes we fall off the wagon and we just need someone to help us, and I would love to help you. You can just message me. I can send you the direct link. Thank you again for tuning in all month. I appreciate everyone that reaches out to me either through my app or through emails and says thank you so much for, giving out the knowledge. So I appreciate you, and have a great rest of your night.